Hello, welcome back to another Blu-ray movie collection. I gotta say movie collection because it's not just Blu-rays anymore. It's been a little while since the last one. I'm going to do this live once again. I just don't have time to make them the way I used to make them, so I'm going to be doing these live for the time being. Also, I'll probably be doing a downsize collection here soon as well because I'm running out of room on the shelves. And also, just I don't know. The more I collect, the more I'm kind of like, you know what I mean? It's just so much stuff. A lot of stuff's not very good because you find it for really cheap and you're like, okay, sure. Or just some weird titles. And on top of that, just some overall uh just stuff that I don't know. But we got a bunch of stuff to talk about. Not everything I've seen. I'm not even come close to seeing everything. But we're gonna talk about what I did grab since the last time we did this thing. So let's jump into it. Before I do, I would love to get back to making them the way I used to make them. Unfortunately, I just don't have time to. Moving forward, I am going to start being a lot more selective, I think, on the movies I buy. Just for the fact that I am running out of space, and also, you know, I don't need to spend like every free dime I have on just movies. But anyway, we have 13 Hours by Michael Bay with the guy, a lot of guys in this, but the guy on the cover, I can never remember his name. John Cranston or something like that. The Quiet Place 2 director. I remember really loving this. It's about the soldiers going to Benghazi, or the fall of Benghazi, the 13 Hours, the secret soldiers of Benghazi. And if you like Michael Bay, this is going to be a movie you're going to enjoy because it is Bayhem, just full throttle. Very intense. Personally, I think it's one of Michael Bay's better films. I think it's one of his more underrated films, and I really enjoyed it. I did not figure out where to put these after I talk about them. I guess I'll put them in front of me. One that is still sealed, but Adopt a Highway with Ethan Hawke. I found this at Dollar Tree when Dollar Tree was still $1. My Dollar Tree, the movies are still $1, but I know they're raising their prices, so who knows? It was $1 and had Ethan Hawke, so I was like, sure. I haven't watched it yet. Next I found on DVD Amelie, or Amelie, or however you say her name, Amelie, or something like that. It's in this really cool like uh fold out version. But this is a movie that, if I remember correctly, is very hard to come across on Blu-ray, if I remember right. But I did find this DVD at a half price books for I think $3. This is a movie that I've wanted to see for quite some time because I've always heard good things about it. And it's not in the best of shape. The box definitely shows some wear. But I thought for $3 I would go ahead and get it so I can watch it. And it was also on our bucket list scratcher. So I have watched this and I did really enjoy it. It's about a very strange girl named Amelie, or I would have to hear him say it to pronounce it correctly. So I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing this correctly. Um, and it's just kind of her everyday life. She's trying to figure out this like picture. She keeps finding these tore up pictures, so she tries to figure out like the man who's leaving her behind. And it's just a fun, cutesy little feel good movie. Speaking of movies that are feel good, Angst, the German serial killer movie put out by Cult Epics. I have not watched this one yet. This is one that I really want to see though at some point. And the reason why I got it, I don't want to thumb through the book because I can't remember what's in the book. The reason why I got it is because this is actually going out of print. Don't look like there's anything really that wrong in the book. You'll pull up or on the back of it. But this is going out of print, so I wanted to get my hands on it because it's a movie that's been on my watch list for a long time before it went out. This is a straight up a case of FOMO, fear of missing out for sure. This is 100% that. But I'll watch it soon. Complete blind buy was Anything for Jackson. We found this at Best Buy, and it was like $12.96 or $14.96. So we decided to go ahead and give it a shot, and it was pretty cool from what I remember. something about these like older couple who just wants to bring their grandson back, so they kind of perform this demonic ritual. And yeah, it's not a bad little horror movie. Next up is a Christmas gift I got for my wife Autumn, and that is Atlantis 1 and 2, Lost Empire, and Milo's Return. I never seen this. As a kid, I always got this one confused with Treasure Planet. If I remember right, yeah, the DVDs are stacked up, but the Blu-ray isn't. I've never seen this. I always got this one confused up with Treasure Planet, and we watched this, and I really enjoyed it. I've never seen it before. She loves this movie. We have to watch Milo's Return at some point. I've never seen it, but really great. I would love for Disney to put out another movie with this kind of animation. I love the 2D with 3D rotoscoping. This Tarzan, Treasure Planet stuff is just such jaw-dropping animation. I really wish they would return to it. A really cool half-price books pickup was Barking Dogs Never Bite. I don't believe this has a US Blu-ray release. This is the debut film of Bong Joon-ho. Probably pronouncing that wrong, but the Parasite director, the host, mother, Okaja, or is it Okajo or Okaja? I can't remember now. I can't remember if it ends with an O or an A. Snowpiercer. So an amazing director. I've yet to watch this one, but it's pretty high up on my list. Gonna have to watch it sometime here soon, but I did find it on DVD for a couple bucks at a half-price book, so very happy about that. Some DC animated stuff, Batman Soul of the Dragon. This was one I was pretty excited for. Batman movie that's Kung Fu. Sign me up. After watching it, it's a good deal of fun. It's a pretty fun little Batman movie. Kind of Batman. Batman's really kind of a side character in this one, but pretty fun. I did enjoy it. Next up, half-price books I found. It was Believers. Unfortunately, I've not spent the time yet to try and remove some of the stickers. As you can see, found it on clearance for $2. Have not watched this one yet. It just sounded interesting when I was looking through the clearance section. So I'm gonna have to watch it at some point. I found this one at a thrift store. I don't have any hopes that it's going to be very good, but I do want to watch it. Bionicle, The Legend Reborn on DVD. Bionicle is just something. This was a complete nostalgia buy. I have seen some of the Bionicle stuff in the past. I did have some Bionicles as a kid, so when I saw this for $1, I was like, I'm going to get that. I haven't watched it yet, but I will probably eventually, probably sooner than some of the more it's considered like classic movies. But take a drink here. I picked up Black Widow. Now this is one that I was just going to wait for on Disney Plus, like I did Shang-Chi and Eternals, but I ended up grabbing this one because of the red case. The red case made me insta buy it. Really didn't need to, but it's cool. The movie itself's not bad. It feels like it should have probably come out a few years ago rather than now when it comes to the MCU timeline. But it was a pretty fun little jaunt. Not super rememberable, but not bad either. Considering a lot of the more recent MCU stuff, this one's the more slightly above average. Next is this really cool digibook German version of Bomb City. Other than the fact that the original motion picture soundtrack is actually sitting in there pretty good right now. It does not actually stay in this very well. It falls out really easily. I didn't know this was the German one originally. Comes with this cool like built-in digibook stuff. It's a 3-disc set. This is a movie I've heard about, but I've never watched. But the reason why I jumped on it, even though it is the German version, which I wasn't entirely sure, I figured it was a foreign version because that back disc back there has the 16 on it, and then the booklet itself is in German. But I wasn't for sure. But it was $3, and that's just a cool looking edition for $3. I haven't watched it yet. I can rip it on my computer and watch it with subtitles. I have a region-free, so it's technically a Blu-ray player. I just don't have a program to play Blu-rays on my computer, so I can just rip it and watch it with subtitles. So I'll have to check that one out at some point. This next one was a buddy of mine was downsizing some of his stuff and reached out to me if I wanted to buy some stuff, and I bought some stuff from him. I think I paid, I know it was like $18 or $20 total for everything. I can't remember the individual prices, but he really gave me some great deals. But the steelbook to The Bridge on the River Kwai, this is a movie that I don't really know much about, but I saw the steelbook. I know it's a kind of a war movie, and so I just jumped on it. I need to buy some steelbook protectors though, because I am out of those. Have not watched it yet. This is one of those ones that's like, I really need to buy this. I found it at Dollar Tree. It's still sealed, but Butterfly Sword. I mean, I just saw Donnie Yen, and I was like, I've never heard of it, so I bought it. I do really like Donnie Yen. Have not watched it yet, so just another one of those Blu-ray buys. Now this one was cool to find. I found this at a pawn shop for $2. The case is not in great shape. There's some damage to the spine of it, but Calvier. This is a movie. It's a French film. Okay, I was like, I wasn't sure if it's French. This is a movie that I've actually heard about quite a bit. It's been on like disturbing lists and stuff like that, that I've been like kind of on my radar, but not really on my watch list, if that makes any sense. And so I saw it for $2, and I was like, okay, cool, grab it. I'll show you some of the damage on the spine. But it was $2, and I was like, oh yeah, I kind of know that. I'm gonna get it, just kind of a blind buy. And then I looked it up. Yeah, this thing's like expensive to buy, so I got a really good deal for $2. It's kind of on the pricier side, so I'm pretty happy with that. The disc is very clean despite the case, so that's kind of nice. But I have to watch that one soon. Another Dollar Tree blind buy was Canadian Bacon with John Candy. Never seen it. My wife's seen it. I can't remember if she liked it or not, or said it was good. But it's John Candy, and it was $1. So up next is all three Captain Americas. First Avenger, Winter Soldier. Hold on, let's do it this. First Avenger, Winter Soldier, and Civil War. I found these first two at half price books. I'm gonna have to get the sticker off of Winter Soldier. The First Avenger was in there. It was either First Avenger or Winter Soldier. One of the two was in clearance for $2, and then the other one was on shelf for $5. So I grabbed both of those from the same store in one trip, and then I actually found Civil War at a Big Lots for $7. For me, when it comes to the MCU, I am trying to collect all the MCU at some point. I would like to own them all, even the ones I don't like that much. But the Captain Americas have been probably consistently my favorite. I have really enjoyed them over the course of the MCU, so I'm glad to have them. And Civil War is my favorite of the MCU, so I am glad to finally own those and add them to the collection. I gotta take. Up next is my favorite horror film of 2021, of the year, of last year, I guess, and that is Censor. Censor was awesome. I have this on DVD. Vinegar Syndrome put it out on Blu-ray, and I need to get the Vinegar Syndrome release at some point. But this was one that I just thought looked kind of interesting, and I grabbed it at Walmart. This was before Vinegar Syndrome put it out on Blu-ray. We watched it, and I was just completely blown away by this film. It's a film about a woman who works for the British film censor. She goes through watching a bunch of video nasty films, saying what can and can't be in the film. And then she kind of comes across this film that brings up some traumatic events from her past, and she kind of spirals down into this sense of madness. If you've seen something like Barbarian Sound Studio, it's kind of similar in that sense when it comes into the madness aspect. But this film is just really well shot, great lead performance, amazing characters. I love where the story went. I love some of the editing, some of the visual effects. And like I said, when it comes to that whole like distortion of it, it just does it in such a great and horrifying way that it's just stood out as my favorite horror film of 2021. Highly, highly recommend this one. I really need to pick up the Vinegar Syndrome release at some point in time, but I've not quite wanted to double dip on Vinegar Syndrome because they are expensive, and I do own it. But eventually I will. So maybe like a sale or something, if they have some kind of sale going on or something like that, maybe I'll jump on it then. But for right now, still can't recommend that movie enough. This was another pawn shop find. I grabbed this one because I've always thought this movie looked kind of interesting. And at one point in time, I remember it being expensive where it was out of print. They must have had a reprint or something because it's worth nothing now. Or maybe my memory is serving me wrong, which is easily a case. But CJ7, Stephen Chow. This is a movie that, like I said, I've always kind of heard about. It always looked like it could be a little bit of fun. Found it for a couple dollars, I think $2 to be precise, on at a pawn shop when I was pawn shopping. So finally picked up my last of the Lakia, if I'm pronouncing it wrong, I apologize, set, and that is Coraline. I have never seen this one. My wife was like, you have to see it. And so we went out of our way to find a copy. We went into Best Buy where they said they had copies. It's a 2-disc set where they said they had copies, and it comes with this little cool booklet. G-Kids is just awesome. They've done such a great job with stuff. But they didn't have any. Oh, this is Shout Factory. I thought this was G-Kids. Oh, Shout Factory is awesome too. So what are you gonna do? I think Shout Factory owns Kids. But yeah, and so somebody had to run in the back and found us a copy, and loved it. Absolutely loved this. Just so great. About a little girl who they move into this house, and she can go like through the walls, and she goes into like this alternate dimension with these like creepy like button characters. And yeah, just a lot of fun. Really cool, really imaginative. This is like, this is where like I get in trouble with like Dollar Tree, where I'm just like, oh, it's only $1. The Croczella includes 4 bonus movies. It includes Voyage to the Prehistoric Planet, The Killer Shrews, Attack of the Giant Leeches, and Piranha. Not the old, like, original Piranha, but one from... Doesn't tell me here. I don't think it's the original Piranha. But, yeah, you just see this, and you're like, oh, it's only $1. And it's like, it's $1, but it takes up space. That's the problem. All right, now I got to figure out how to move these. Guess just make piles behind me. Losing stuff. All right, I have secured the second pile. The second pile. Kind of. But I didn't throw anything, I dropped things. All right. Onward and upward. This pile's significantly larger. Dementia 13, put out by Vestron Video. I've not watched it. Francis Ford Coppola. So I wanted to grab it. It was $11.99, I believe, at Best Buy. So just haven't got around to it yet. One that I think was kind of a cool find. Detective Story. Takashi Miike. I found this at a at this like used like CD store or something. It was a little expensive. They wanted 8 something for it, but it does go for more online. And unfortunately, it's got this big stupid DE4 or whatever on top of it, because I think this used to be a rental. It was in like one of those rental cases, and the case was trashed. So I replaced it with an extra, it's a clear case, but an extra case I had laying around. This is one, I mean, it's Takashi Miike. I mean, the disc is ultra clean, But Takashi Miike is just one of my favorite filmmakers. So anytime I see one of his movies, I try to buy it. And yeah, I knew this was going to be a harder one to normally come across. So when I did come across it, I was like, even though it's in terrible condition, the disc was clean. So I was like, I'm just going to get it. I can try to replace my case. I did try to pick off this, and it was starting to tear the insert. So I was like, I guess it's just staying there. I have not watched this one yet, but definitely is kind of higher up on the watch list. This one was awesome. This was a complete surprise. I found this at Half Price Books brand new for like $8. Director's cut with Penn Jillette in it. Actually, just Penn and Teller's both in this. This is awesome. I can't recommend this one enough. It's a pretty, I think, little hole in the wall kind of movie where it's so surreal. I've never seen anything like this. It's a movie in a movie in a movie, if that makes any sense. It's this weird, like, found footage mixed with a movie. I don't know how to explain it. It's so bizarre. Basically, Penn Jillette plays a kickbacker for a movie that's being made with a woman, an actress that he's obsessed with. And so he makes a director's cut of the film. And the entire movie, Penn Jillette does a director's commentary narration over top of everything that's happening. It is hilarious. It is so brilliantly edited. It is such a unique and original idea. Highly recommend this movie. Definitely check this one out. A cool little Goodwill snag was Dogma on DVD. I'm not the biggest fan of this movie as a whole. I definitely think it's probably one of the better Kevin Smith ones. I like that I got the insert with it. These are out of print. The DVD even kind of goes for a little bit more than I think someone should pay for it. The Blu-ray goes for an absurd amount. I actually have thought about flipping this one, but I do want to own this movie. So I think I'm going to keep this one to own it. If I come across any more copies or any Blu-rays or anything like that, I'd probably sell it. I'd probably sell the Blu-ray, honestly. If I found it, I wouldn't even want to keep an upgrade. I would just sell it. But it's not bad. Another pawn shop find. I've been going through pawn shops, thrift stores, and stuff like that to hunt, and I've actually had some pretty good success. But that is Lars von Trier's Dogville. Really good condition disc. The case has some sticky residue on it from the seal, the top seal that would be on there. So I do need to clean it up a little bit or just put it in a new case. The disc and the insert itself is just in immaculate condition. Other than there is like a little bit of a cut on the barcode. It comes with the insert and everything. This is a movie that's been on my watch list for a long time. So I'm very excited to check it out. I love Lars von Trier's movies. Not all of them, but I do like him a lot as a filmmaker. So I am very excited to check this one out at some point. Just haven't yet. Another Dollar Tree find. Don't Think Twice. I honestly don't think I'll enjoy this movie that much. Dollar Tree puts on these stupid, like, hard to rip off stickers. So what I've kind of done is just tuck them up underneath there. They will tear the slipcase almost every time. Not watched this one yet. Honestly, I don't even know if I ever will watch it. Entanglement. Another Dollar Tree blind buy. What happened? Why did I get super, like, orangey? Okay, it was like an autofocus, an auto white. Okay, is there like an auto? Config video. White balance. Turn off. Ooh, hold on now. Hold on now. Sometimes I turn back on. It's weird. I'm just gonna leave it on auto. That's fine. Whatever. Doesn't matter that much. But entanglement. If it wants to get really gross on my face like that, it does. I've not watched it yet. Just Dollar Tree find. Ernest and Celestine. This was a great little animated film. This is one that's been on my watch list for quite a while. Came across it at Best Buy. Decided to pick up, gave it a watch. Great little film. It's about a mouse becoming friends with a bear and kind of the shenanigans they get into. And it's just a lot of fun. Just really recommend it. Still sealed. I need to open it, but I finally picked up Face Off, the special collector's edition. Found it at Big Lots for $3. I've never seen this. The John Woo film, Nick Cage, John Travolta. I've heard good things about it. I've heard some bad things about it, but I've heard some good things about it. It's one that I've always wanted to see, and so I finally found it for $3. The Forever Purge. Got this when it came out. Look, I've watched every Purge movie. I probably will ever watch every Purge movie. Weirdly enough, our wedding was Purge themed because we had a Halloween wedding, and Purge just seemed like such the best route to go to let everybody kind of be their own creative costume designs and stuff. So we did a Purge wedding. But this is the worst one in my opinion. The Forever Purge is it's really not as gory as you would want it to be. First off, The Purge has always been to me one of the best premises ever for a grindhouse movie, and it's never utilized it at all. It tries to be somewhat of a serious political horror in a way. And this one really doesn't deliver on the horror or the violence. It's kind of lame. There's some really bad CGI and stuff in this one. The guy on the cover is, I don't even think he's actually, if he's in the movie, it's for a microsecond. Just really disappointed in this one. I think it's the worst of the Purge. Next up, Fox and the Hounds 25th Anniversary Edition on DVD. Now, the reason why I bought this is because, for one, I found it at a antique mall for $1. But for two, and more importantly, is the litany of special features. Now, I own Fox and the Hound 1 and 2 on DVD, and I sold it not too long ago because I did get the Blu-ray. Unfortunately, the Blu-ray doesn't have the special features. It doesn't have special features on it. So I lost all my special features. And so when it came, I've been wanting to rebuy the DVD. I don't know if the DVD copy I had different special features than this one, but this one has a bunch of them on it. So I do have this. I specifically bought it just for the special features. The disc is clean. The case itself's in good shape. So I am happy to spend $1 on that. Speaking of something that I'm not that happy to spend money on, I did pick up Freddy Got Fingered on DVD. I found this. We found this like for $5. Brand new, by the way. Has, I believe this was a new one we got, but has the has this booklet in it. It's terrible. This is considered one of the worst movies ever made. And I can see why. It's just not funny. It's really long feeling. It's 87 minutes, but it feels like forever long. And it's not even like so bad it's good either. I don't know. I got a buddy who loves this movie, and I get why he would like it. For me, I don't know. You know what I mean? I've heard him talk about it since high school. I had never seen it. Finally got to watch it, and I could have my 87 minutes and like $5 back. I'll probably keep it just because of what it is, but next, The French Dispatch, the new Wes Anderson movie. This was one of the higher ones on my 2021 watch list, and it's I wouldn't say really good. To me, honestly, this is one of my least favorite Wes Anderson movies, but it's still good. I keep wanting to say really good. It's still good. It's incredibly well shot. The performances are great. There's a lot of cool moving pieces and set designs. There's a lot of cool ideas here. And personally, the story with Benicio del Toro as the artist was my favorite part of the entire movie. I was absolutely just in love with it. I like the overarching, because this is kind of an anthology movie. So there's this overarching story about the last issue of the French Dispatch, and Bill Murray is kind of the patriarch of the paper, and the stories are basically the writers writing their story, and then the short films in the movie is Bill Murray basically reading the articles. And there's a couple of different stories and stuff. And for me, none of them were as interesting as the Benicio del Toro one. And there's a couple of them where really I just was not interested in the story at all, to me. So that's why this is a little bit lower. But this is still a solid 7.5 out of 10. I would still definitely recommend it, especially if you're a fan of Wes Anderson. For me, I just like some of his other movies better. Up next is Fried Berry. Another one that was very high up on my 2021 watch list. And I really enjoyed it. This was a weird movie in the sense of if anyone wants to have a 30-day free trial to Shudder, there you go. But this is one that I was really excited to watch. I sit down and we started watching it. And I thought for myself, like the first half of the movie, there's basically two halves of this movie. The first half of the movie, I was thinking to myself, this might be my new number one of 2021. It's crazy, super high strung, very high energetic. It's about an alien who comes down, takes over a body of a sex drug addict, and then just goes wild. And that was just a complete romp and a great and really fun time. And then the second half of the story is a lot more story driven. There's like a overall story arc and stuff happening in it. And while I still enjoyed it, it's definitely a lot slower and like kind of wasn't as good in my opinion as the first half. Still would recommend the movie overall. More from that lot that I bought from my friend from Severin. He told me his Future Shock, the story of 2000 AD, the comic book company. It's a documentary on the comic book company who put out Judge Dredd, and some other things that I'm not super familiar with. But I do like documentaries. It is from Severin, and when he was going to sell it, I was like, I'll buy it off you. Have not watched it yet, but I will eventually. Black Friday pickup, Ghost in the Shell 4K. Ghost in the Shell, this was one that I've only watched once, and I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't that big of a fan of it the first time I watched it. But it's one that I've always wanted to rewatch, and so I will eventually. But I'm glad to finally own it. One I found at a Goodwill on DVD, God's Pocket, Philip Seymour Hoffman, John Turturro. I always have to look at his name. I guess Christina Hendricks and Richard Jenkins is in it too. Don't know much about this. I just know it's one of the later ones of Philip Seymour Hoffman's career. And yeah, for a couple dollars, I was like, why not? I did pick up on Black Friday the Green Knight on 4K Blu-ray. The reason why I got this is the only movie I've seen in theaters since COVID started. It was during that period where they're like, yeah, you can kind of go back to doing normal things if you're vaccinated. So we decided to go out to the theater. The theater we went to see this at had a basically you have to wear your mask through the whole entire movie unless you're eating, and which is not, it's not, I'm fine with that. But after spending over a year and a half of not going to the theater and only watching stuff at home, going back into the theater, I have to be 100% honest with you, I didn't miss it. I didn't miss the theater experience. It might be because the theaters I have in my local area aren't the best. They're definitely not an AMC or something along those lines. And I'm not saying AMC are great theaters either. I'm just saying, you know, they're kind of mom and pop theaters. And I've always kind of had my complaints with them, and I guess of not being there for a year and a half and then going, you're really, those complaints that you're probably kind of used to are really kind of amplified. And that's kind of what I felt like with the Green Knight. So, and then overall, the Green Knight wasn't as good as I was hoping it would be. But there was something about this movie. For one, it's gorgeously shot. So I knew when I saw the 4K on sale on Black Friday for $9, $9.99, $10, I guess, I was like, I'm going to get it because I do want to rewatch this one. This is one of those movies where I feel like on a second viewing, I might like it more. So I did want to get, I haven't rewatched it yet, but I did want to get it for that reason. Half price books clearance. I got Guardians of the Galaxy. Very happy to finally own that. I don't have volume 2 yet, but I did get the first one. Oh man, these Blu-ray updates. From my buddy, I picked up Hacksaw Ridge. I have already owned this. I've owned this for a long time, but he was selling it with the slipcase, and for only a couple dollars, I was like, slipcase. So I bought it, and I'm just gonna get rid of my copy. It's a great movie. Absolutely amazing. One of my favorite Andrew Garfield performances. Up next, Harsh Times. I found on clearance. Another one, and some of these clearance ones I got, they must have come from a video store or something. Because I've never seen these kind of stickers really before. So I don't know where they came from, but this is a movie that's been on my watch list for a long time. Christian Bale, directed by David Ayer, and I've always wanted to see it. And after watching it, I gotta say, I think David Ayer is kind of a fluke director. Like, yeah, End of Watch is pretty good. Fury is a downright masterpiece. But I have not been that big of a fan of anything else he's made, and Harsh Times no different. Personally, I really didn't like this movie. I think Christian Bale is pretty good, but I think everything else about this movie is pretty bad. I don't like the way it's shot. I don't like the way it's, like, the story is kind of presented. It's kind of written like what I think an 8th grader would write a drug cop story about, if that makes any sense. It feels very immature while trying to be very mature, if that makes any sense. Yeah, I guess it would be probably where it has that action thing down there too. But yeah, really didn't like this. Don't have much to say about it. Still wrapped. I found it Big Lots. Here Comes Peter Cottontail for $5. This is the Rankin Bass. These are the people who did the like Heat Miser, the Here Comes Santa Claus. I think it's Here Comes Santa Claus. The old like claymation Christmas movies that we all have watched in our lives, all know and love. Here Comes Peter Cottontail is apparently an Easter one they made. I never even heard of this. I didn't even know this existed. I found it for $5 at Big Lots, and I was like, yeah, you're coming home with me. I've not watched it yet, but another one that I have not watched yet that I do want to watch soon. Hiroko, the Goblin, Hiroko, maybe. Probably pronouncing that wrong. Put out by Mondo Macabre. I pre-ordered the red edition because I missed out on Gemini, and I was like, you know what, I'm not missing out on this one. This is a Shinya Tsukamoto film, so I almost have all of Shinya Tsukamoto's films. I'm missing a couple, but I have majority of them. And this is his second film. This is, I believe this is one he did right after Tetsuo. I guess Denji Kozo was probably his first film. But yeah, I am excited to check this one out at some point. And also, I want to give a shout out to Mondo Macabre. They have on their website, it's limited to one per person. And I was getting an extra one for a buddy of mine, and I didn't know that because on the page where they had just the movies to click to order on their site, it didn't say anything about it. If you clicked on the title itself, it would say limit one per customer. So I didn't see that, and I ordered two because I ordered one for my buddy. And after I checked out and was looking at some of the specs and special features and stuff that would be included on this, I saw that. I reached out to them. I was like, hey, I didn't know that, it was limited one per person. I was like, I was getting another one for a buddy. And Mondo Macabre was like, oh no, it's fine if you're doing that. And I get why they're doing it, because they're trying to stop people from buying out of stock and then selling them for ridiculous prices online. I respect that. I had a genuine mess up, and I'm glad Mondo Macabre helped me out there. But I am very excited to check that one out. Next up, Tonya. This is one that I've not really been that interested to see, but I've heard good things about it. And so I found it for $5. I was like, you know what? I'm going to get this and watch it at some point. I've not watched it yet, but and I'm not like jonesing at the bit to go watch it, but I will watch it at some point. Next up is the new Ben Wheatley movie, In the Earth. I don't believe this has a Blu-ray for whatever reason. But I did get In the Earth, and it was pretty good. I liked it. Ben Wheatley is a director that I personally really enjoy, and this one is a kind of an interesting movie. It was made during the pandemic. It's about these two scientists who there is a virus kind of killing people. They're trying to find a cure for it, and they kind of come across a crazed scientist out in the wild, and they have to like survive. And there's a lot of trippy stuff happening. First off, the editing in this movie is amazing. There's some sequences that are just so well put together and so well edited that it just creates some really cool atmosphere and moments. And I do really like the way this film is shot too. Some really great performances. But yeah, really enjoyed that one. Dollar Tree, not opened it yet, but Journey to the West, have not seen it yet. Conquering the Demons. Now, there's a couple of these Journey to the West movies, and I don't know where this fits in. This is a Stephen Chow movie. Same director as CJ7, 7CJ, or is it CJ7? Oh, it's CJ7. Same director. Like I said, I know there's a couple of these Journey to the West. So I don't know if this is the first or second, but I haven't looked it up yet to see. But I saw it for $1, and I always thought these Journey to the West movies looked fun, so just gonna have to check it out at some point. One of the more recent pickups, Last Night in Soho. This is awesome. Edgar Wright is such a good director. I'm happy to see him doing some other things than just comedy. Personally, I love him as a comedic director. But to see him tackle something that's as serious and kind of horrifying in a way as Last Night in Soho really excites me for what he's going to be doing in the future. First off, the entire cast gives great performances. There's great cinematography here. There's great editing as always. Edgar Wright is such a great director when it comes to the editing style of his films. The film follows Thompson McKenzie's character as she goes to a fashion school in London. She starts staying in this room, and she starts having these nightmares where she kind of follows around and becomes Anna Taylor-Joy's character. Probably pronouncing that wrong, and I apologize. And some horrific things happen, and it just, the story itself just engrossed me so much as I was watching it. I just had such a great time with this one. It's one of those ones where I think you want to go in knowing as little as possible, because there's some things that happen, like the way the story is crafted and builds and stuff, that I think if you don't know what's going on, you're going to get a lot out of it. But it's also one of those movies that feels kind of, it's going to be a classic. Like, this is one that I'm going to probably lean into around that spoopy season, you know, you want to watch something that's a little bit, I wouldn't say this movie's scary by any means, but there is some really great tension in this film. But it's like just one of those movies I could see myself watching on multiple viewings. And while I think it's not going to be as engrossing or as impactful as the first viewing, I still think it's going to be very significant on the multiple viewings, especially because I feel like this is probably a movie that has a lot of little details that you're not going to pick up on the first viewing. But yeah, one of my favorites of 2021. Definitely recommend it. Oh boy, this is going to take forever. Next up, the Arrow release of Legend. I personally really loved this movie. I got it not too long ago. Absolutely adored it. And so when I saw this was coming out, I was like, I have to get it. I want the Dune version too, but I haven't got it yet. Really cool set, alt art. I really love the new art though a lot, but it's got some alt art in it. 2-disc set. Comes with a litany of little special things like these little cards here. Comes with a double-sided poster that needs to go up on my wall at some point. It's the two artworks. I'm not going to unfold it all the way, but it's the box art and then that reverse art. Comes with these, like, I'm not going to get them out of the plastic just for video's sake, but it's got these like these glossy like poster picture things, a really nice thick booklet, and a bunch of special features. If you're a fan of this movie, this is such a cool set to get. Would definitely recommend it. Picked it up on the Arrow sale at Barnes & Noble for $25. Awesome set. Up next, I actually found a sealed copy of Little Nicky on DVD from it's one of these old like paper ones. From my understanding, this does not have a Blu-ray yet, which is strange, or if it does, it's out of print. But my wife loves this movie. It's one of her favorite Adam Sandler ones. And he found it sealed for $5. You know what I mean? As a half price books. And there's actually a funny story with this. When we got it, the woman checking us out, there was a thing down the side. It was just a piece of plastic tape that said security device on it. And she was like, she's like, I might have to open this one. She goes, I can't imagine it'd be hard to open. She's like, I'm like, what are you talking about? What it was, she thought you would have to remove this piece of plastic, like break it off. She thought that was a security device for the disc. It's just the piece of tape, so people couldn't just open up the disc and run off. You know what I mean? So that was kind of funny, but pretty cool. Another great find, the Lodge. This was on my best of 2020 video that I made. Also, I don't know if I'm going to make a best of 2021. If I do, it's going to be months from now, because I still have movies on my watch list that don't come out for a while on Blu-ray. I'm not going to theaters to see them. And on top of that, I'm just working on one of them. I just don't know if I want to. But this was on my honorable mentions of that list, and I found this for $2 at a pawn shop. It's in really good shape. So very happy about that one. This was a half price books clearance for $2. Lust of the Dead 3. I mean, just look at that. Just absolutely absurd. It's by Tokyo Shock, the same company that's put out like Tokyo Gore Police and stuff. And I just thought it could be fun. I haven't watched it all, but I've watched a bit of it, and it's pretty terrible. Terrible effects, terrible story, terrible acting, terrible everything. It's kind of like a softcore porn in a weird way. Not exactly, but kind of. And it just, you know, when you're a little disappointed for a $3 movie, that sucks. But I did get a freebie with this, Clown House. Half price books is weird. Some of their movies are in the case, in the DVD case, and then some of them are not. Some of them are in a drawer. When she opened this up to check the disc, it said Clown House. She's like, so she got to looking. They didn't have the disc behind the counter. So I did get the disc. She was like, do you want Clown House? She goes, I'm just going to pitch it. If not, I was like, is it free? I said, I don't know. I don't even know what it is. She goes, oh, yeah. She goes, you can have it for free. I was like, okay. So still don't know what it is. That was that stack. Stack number 2.5 is moving stuff around. Now, if I wasn't so lazy, I would cut that out. Now, why would I do that? Stack number 3. We're at the halfway point. See if we can't speed this up a little bit. Shall we? Dollar Tree Blind by Mary. Dollar Tree Blind by Mary. Gary Oldman. Not opened it yet. I just saw Gary Oldman and I was like, sure. Again, that just like, it's $1. Just get it. Master of Disguise. The Dana Carvey movie. This is notorious, as a lot of people consider it one of the worst movies ever made. I found this at a thrift shop for $1. And personally, I know Autumn's always enjoyed it, but personally for me too, it's kind of a nostalgic movie, because I remember watching this one as a kid, renting it, and I remember enjoying it as a kid. I've not rewatched it in a long time. I'm sure it probably doesn't hold up very well, but who knows? We'll see. We'll watch it at some point, but I don't think, from my memory of this movie, I don't think it's as bad as IMDb says it is. Right? It's got to be a little better. Still wrapped, but Mastermind. Well, kind of wrapped, because there's this. Found this at Dollar Tree. I remember really enjoying this when I watched it. I don't have it on Blu-ray. I would prefer to have it on Blu-ray. It was $1, so I was getting other things too. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna get Masterminds for $1. I own a copy of it. Could have got it on Blu-ray, but I do find that movie pretty enjoyable. This one, I believe, was also from that set I was buying for my buddy, and that is Midway. That's up next. Midway on Blu-ray. Roland Emmerich. I always wanted to see this movie. I've actually picked it up and put it down before. I actually did buy this one time. I purchased this off of Walmart for pickup because I was actually picking up a few other things, and I was like, you know what? I want to get Midway too. And I don't know why I ordered it for pickup, but they didn't apparently have it in store because they couldn't fulfill it. So I actually got refunded for this. But I ended up getting it from them. I've not watched it yet, but I do want to watch it at some point. Mischief. I found this on DVD. I am happy to own this because my mom is actually in this. My mom is an extra in this. And she is a continuity error in this. I actually rewatched this with my mom for her birthday. I've seen this movie a couple times, and when we was watching some of her scenes, because every time she watches it, she's got to point herself out. I noticed that she's a continuity error. There's a scene where it shows her sitting down into a booth, and then it cuts, and she's sitting back down into a booth. From a different angle. So I was like, you're a continuity error. So that's just kind of fun. But I found this at Half Price Books for a couple of dollars. There's not a Blu-ray of this, I believe. So I am happy to actually own a physical copy of it. I thought about giving this to my mom, but I'm keeping it for myself. She doesn't actually own a physical copy of it. She has a she has the disc of it. She don't have the case. I guess she does have a physical copy, just not the disc, not the case. Molly Flanders. I have no idea what this is. Morgan Freeman. I don't know. That was $1 at Dollar Tree. So, Mortal Kombat Legends Battle of the Realms. Now, the Mortal Kombat Scorpion, the Mortal Kombat Legends Scorpion's Revenge was killer. It was super good, super fun. This one is pretty mediocre. Honestly, I don't remember much about it off the top of my head. Yeah, I mean, it's just a Mortal Kombat story. I just remember being kind of disappointed in that one. Naked Singularity with John Boyega and Bill Skarsgård and Olivia Cook. This was a movie that just seemed kind of interesting. Never heard of it, just saw the DVD at Walmart, realized it didn't have a Blu-ray, so I just was like, you know what, for $9.99, I'm just going to get it and watch it. Honestly, looking back on it, I don't even remember what this is about. I remember he's a lawyer, and that's about as much as I remember. And she works at like some kind of like auctioneering site or something. And they like work together to get this car full of money or something. Yeah, it's I remember watching it as I was watching it. I really wasn't bored or anything with it, but clearly it didn't stick with me. Finally found National Treasure on Blu-ray. Grabbed it. I've not seen this in a really long time. I've not seen the first one since the second one came out in theaters, so it's been a long time. My wife has never seen it, found it at a pawn shop for a couple dollars, decided to grab it, and we'll have to watch it sometime soon. Found New York, New York on DVD. Now there is a Blu-ray of this, but I grabbed it because it was $1. It's still sealed, but Robert De Niro, Liza Minnelli, and it's directed by Martin Scorsese. Just have not watched it yet. Oh, another one of my favorites of 2021, Old Henry. Tim Blake Nelson is just awesome in this movie. He plays basically Old Henry, this guy who owns this like small little ranch, when this supposed sheriff shows up and things boil down. It is a nitty gritty, violent Western with an amazing ending. Some great cinematography, like I said, great performance by Tim Blake Nelson. Just really awesome. Super good. Again, another thing that is really high on my watch list. Onibaba. This is a movie that's been on my watch list for a long time. I've actually thought about getting it on DVD for quite often, um, especially on the Criterion sales. But Criterion finally brought it over to Blu-ray, and I decided to grab it when the next Criterion sale came out. Cool, sweet booklet here. Japanese horror movie from the 60s, I believe. The early 60s. 64. I'm just whacking this microphone all around. Japanese horror movie from the 1960s. Like I said, it's been on my watch list for a long time. It's just one of those movies I just haven't got to yet. Osama. This is a movie that I actually started watching from the same half price books clearance. I actually started watching this and I got an hour into it and the disc quit working. I cannot get past the part that doesn't work. I've looked at the back too, and there must be a printing error because there is not a single scratch on this thing. This thing is in an immaculate condition. Looks brand new, probably because it won't play. So my guess is this is a rare case of a printing error, but it completely freezes and crashes a little after the hour mark. I've tried ripping it, no luck. So that's kind of disappointing because I was really enjoying this. It's about a girl kind of caught up in I believe, Afghanistan. Yeah, caught up in an Afghanistan war where she basically becomes, I think, orphaned, and she takes the identity of a boy because basically, I believe, if I remember right at the time, girls at the time would be executed. Yeah, believe so. But I was enjoying this. I remember enjoying this, and fortunately, it does not work. So I'll have to figure something out with it. Another one from the half price books clearance, OTIS. This is all from that same trip. You can tell by the orange sticker in the clearance. Which is funny because the orange sticker actually comes off the Blu-ray cases pretty well, but it's not wanted to come off the DVD cases. I don't know. Maybe it's been on the DVD cases for longer because a couple of movies coming up and that one Captain America movie was also in that bin with the same sticker. Maybe it was newer, so it peeled off a lot easier. But this is a movie that I've known about for a little while. Thought it seemed interesting, so I saw in that $2 bin. I was pretty excited, and after watching it, this is awesome. This is a really cool kind of horror comedy. The comedy is very light, but it is there, and it does work really well. It's about a serial killer who kidnaps girls and plays out this weird like high school fantasy thing. It is full of a ton of really intense cringe. The lead, I'm going to assume is Daniel Stern, is great in this. There's some great music and soundtrack in the soundtrack decisions, and it's just a lot of fun. This is just a really fun little horror movie. Definitely recommend it. Next up is another Christmas gift for the wife, and that is Overboard. My mom actually got her this for Christmas, the Severin, which my mom knows nothing about Severin. She was just like, would be something good to get her, and so I sent her the link to this because I actually was thinking about getting her this. So I was like, well, if you get her the Severin one, then I'll get her the Atlantis one. So she got her Overboard, and we watched this. I did see the remake before this because Autumn's always really enjoyed this one, and I thought the remake was okay. I enjoyed the original more. It's still not like my favorite thing because it's not really a movie for me. It's not really the kind of movies I really enjoy, but I did enjoy this one much. I would say quite a bit more than the original. I think it helps that Kurt Russell's in this movie. He's awesome. I love Kurt Russell. The comedy definitely does work in this one a lot better than the remake, and it's just a fun story. Basically, about this girl who is a rich snob, and she cheats Kurt Russell, but then she gets amnesia. Kurt Russell realizes it, and so he tricks her into being his wife as payback, and it's fun. It's just a fun movie. Up next was a Big Lots purchase for $3, and that is Paradise Hills. Just the cover's kind of interesting, but I remember Autumn saying something about this movie that she was kind of interested in it. So when I found it, I was like, you want to get it? And so we got it and we watched it. And I've never seen a movie like this where the entire movie feels like a trailer to a movie. This movie just jumps from beat to beat to beat to beat to beat, develops nothing along the way, but it has such an interesting uh visual design, set design, atmosphere, world building, everything like that is so interesting. It's basically about these girls who are sent to this reform island, and it's definitely very young adultish, but it's got a really interesting idea. With the way the film progresses, like, you get these moments where these characters are like really attached to each other, and it's like, you guys have said like 2 words to each other, like, what are you talking about? It just feels weird. It just feels like a trailer, because it feels like there's so many segments of this movie that are just missing from this movie. It's a brisk movie too. It's only like 90 minutes. Is our runtime 94 minutes? It's a very brisk movie. Next thing you know, it's over, and it's just like, I mean, I enjoyed what I saw. I'm intrigued by the visuals. I'm intrigued at what's going on here, but we spent no time developing anything. We just jumped from point A to D to J to, you know what I mean? It's like there's alphabet here missing, but yeah, kind of wish for more. I picked up The Patriot. I don't remember even where I got this from, honestly. Where did I get this from? Was this a half price books grab? Was this a... I really don't remember where I grabbed this one from. Huh. I do know I bought the VHS sealed not too long ago. I'm selling it, but I do know I grabbed it not too long ago. I don't remember where I grabbed the Blu-ray from. Where did I find you? Either way, The Patriot, the Mel Gibson movie. I've not seen this one in years. I watched this one a really long time ago, so I'll have to rewatch it at some point. I remember liking it though. Another high up on the list one for 2021, Pig. Unfortunately, has a little bit of damage on the slipcase. Thanks, Amazon. I guess there's some over here too. I was not expecting Walmart to get this one. They did, so I could have got this one at Walmart instead. But what are you gonna do, right? Pig is amazing. Great Nicolas Cage performance, a serious performance about Nicolas Cage, who is a truffle hunter, whose truffle pig gets stolen, and he kind of falls apart, goes to the end of the world to try to get this pig back. It has so much tension in this movie, and there's like no release. So you are just a bowl of nerves through this entire movie. And it's not done in the sense of like action either. It's done through slight conversation. I've never seen a movie build as much tension without really having to do very much like this movie did. Beautifully shot. Like I said, Nick Cage is absolutely amazing in this. One of the better performances of 2021. The kid from Heredity shows up in this, and he's good too. I can't remember what his name is though. Yeah, super good. Really want to rewatch this. Kind of a downer. Another one that I need to get a Blu-ray Blu-ray protector case for, and that is Prisoners of the Ghostland. Steelbook, 4K Steelbook. Like I said, I need to get a... I hate how they did that, because you just saw what happened. I need to get a Steelbook protector, but they have the discs just sitting on top of each other, and it is not a very tight fit. So that kind of is disappointing. But Alex Wolf, my wife just texted me. Thank you. Alex Wolf is also in Pig. But Prisoner of the Ghostland, I know I'm in the probably small minority of saying I actually kind of enjoyed this one. I would like to give it a second viewing too. It's a little long-winded for what it is. Basically, Nick Cage has to go hunt this girl down who is some kind of relation or owned by Bill Moseley's character. It is crazy. It's a film by Shino Sono. If you don't know his work, he's a Japanese filmmaker who's made some really outlandish stuff. So I kind of knew what I was getting into going into this one, and I can't say that I was that disappointed. My issue with this one is it's kind of incoherent as a narrative. Maybe on a second viewing, it'll come together a little better, but it's one of those movies where I think it focused more on like the wacky zaniness of it than actually having a very coherent story. A lot of the effects are really cheesy, not that great. But for the amount of hate this movie's gotten, I don't agree with that. I think this is kind of a fun, goofy, little dumb movie that I definitely want to give another watch to. Another complete surprise, The Power. Another one that's on my best of 2021 list. This was a movie that I was in the mood of blind buying. It was during the same time I picked up Naked Singularity and Censor. And I just was looking at this one. I was like, you know what? This could be good. And this is a movie that started off like every other generic horror movie ever made. And as the film progressed, it did some amazing things, subverted so many expectations, and just increasingly got better as the film went along, that by the time it wrapped up, I was like, wow, that was pretty great. So definitely give The Power a chance to watch it if you want. It's a fun little horror movie that I definitely think deserves some love. Next up, same one from that Half Price Books clearance section, Puppy. It's a comedy, apparently. I know nothing about this movie. It just sounded fun to me. Basically, lovely Liz makes a living by twisting the truth, but when her family grows tired of her life, she finds herself out on the street without a penny. Deciding to chuck it all, Liz attempts suicide, only to be rescued by a handsome truck driver, Aiden. Rather than take her to the hospital, Liv's savior abducts her to his rural farmhouse, convinces she's the wife who left him years ago, keeps her on leash and guarded by attack dogs. So yeah, it just seems kind of crazy. And then on the back, listen, in the tradition of misery and Black Snake moans. Black Snake Moan is one of my favorite films of all time. Misery is pretty good too. I need to own Misery at some point. So I was like, I'm going to give it a shot. Have not watched it yet, but interested. The Purple Rose of Cairo. I've not seen it yet. I just saw it had Mia Farrow and Jeff Daniels in it. And it was a Dollar Tree. So I was like, okay. Not even opened it. For Queen and Country with Denzel Washington. I've heard of this before. I've never seen it. Honestly, I don't know if it's good or not. It was a Dollar Tree. So I was like, it's an earlier Denzel movie. I'll get it and give it a shot at some point. One of these sound like the disc was loose. Finally picked it up on Black Friday. That is Requiem for a Dream, Darren Aronofsky's masterpiece. This movie is just great. This is the 20th anniversary 4K release. This was on sale for Black Friday for $7.97, something like that. And I've not owned this movie yet. I don't know why. I think it's because I always come across this movie like anytime you go out hunting. So I've just never been like, I've seen it a couple times. So I've never been like, oh, I need to go get that. But when I saw the 4K come out and it was on sale for Black Friday, I was like, you know what? Now's the time. Another Criterion pickup from the last Criterion sale. I finally just broke down and ordered a couple Criterions off Barnes & Noble that I've, for years now, have never found in any of my local Barnes & Nobles. Well, local. They're still an hour and a half away. So that is The Royal Tenenbaums, Wes Anderson movie. I'm trying to get all the Wes Anderson stuff from Criterion, which I think I only need Rushmore and Moonrise Kingdom. I don't think I'm going to double up on, comes with this neat little booklet, double up on Grand Budapest. I haven't decided yet. Also comes with this really cool fold out. But yeah, basically about the Royal Tenenbaums, a family of the Tenenbaum family and their family squabble in this kind of giant manor house. And I really enjoyed it. I love Wes Anderson's movies. This to me is just, it's like an 8 out of 10. Just really good. I picked up on DVD for $5 the Rugrats trilogy movie. We've actually talked about before about the Rugrats movies, of like how we kind of wanted to rewatch them. We have actually rewatched all three of them and actually watched Rugrats Go Wild tonight. They hold up pretty well, honestly. It's just a 3-disc set, nothing crazy, Most of them come with widescreen or full screen editions, which is kind of cool. The first movie's weird because if you click the widescreen edition, it still plays in a full screen 4:3, which I think is strange. It does come with some special features apiece. I found this for $5. And like a day or two after I bought this, 'cause I found this at Walmart, that I bought this, it was announced on Blu-ray that it was coming out as the trilogy on Blu-ray. These 3 movies on Blu-ray. I will be upgrading it to Blu-ray for sure. Just classic like childhood nostalgia. All right, let's working on a pile. All right. Okay, here we go. Another set of stuff. We're coming to the end of the Blu-ray stuff, the DVD Blu-ray stuff. Coming to an end of that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I can show this. Another one of the criterions that I ordered off of Barnes & Noble's website during the sale that I've looked for years and have never found. Sallow, the 120 Days of Sodom. I have found the DVD a bunch, but I've never found the Blu-ray. This is just a single DVD version. Comes with a big booklet. I'm not gonna show you some of the stuff in the booklet. This is not a fun movie to watch. I wouldn't even call it. I don't know if I'd call it a great movie. Some people will consider this movie a masterpiece. I'm someone who enjoys disturbing cinema in the sense of how far can you go in a movie? You know, where do you cross the line? Obviously, anything real is where you cross the line, but like, I like to see movies that really want to push the edge, whether if they're good or not. These movies that really kind of go far out there. And for a movie from the 70s, this is a very extreme movie. Basically about a bunch of rich people who purchase these like teenagers. Well, they're teenagers in the movie, but to basically take them back and endure 120 Days of Sodom. It's based off of, if I remember correctly, a story by Marquis de Sade. You don't know who that is. And it is not a pleasant movie. It's gross. It's incredibly violent. It's not fun, but I own it. Up next, Samurai Marathon. It's not open yet. Found it on Blu-ray for $5. Unfortunately, the sticker will not come off. It's on this slipcase is like this papery version, and it's wanting to rip. So I think that's gonna have to just stay on there. But I haven't watched this one yet. We saw a trailer for this for another movie. I can't remember what movie it was. And I remember Autumn going, "Ooh, I'd like to see that." And I was like, "Yeah, me too." And when I came across it and found it, I was like, "Cool." And we haven't watched it yet, but a Half Price Books pickup that I am very excited to actually own is Scooby-Doo WrestleMania Mystery Original Movie. So back when we lived in our apartment, we didn't have a washer and dryer at our place, and the laundromat was expensive. I lived close to my grandparents, so we would go to my grandparents to do laundry there. And one of the days we was doing laundry, they had cable, and so we were flipping through channels, and we came across this on TV, and we watched the whole thing, laughed our asses off. There are some hilarious moments in this, especially a moment with John Cena. That is hilarious in every sense. And so when I finally came across this on Blu-ray, I was like, I have to get this. So very happy to have that one. Another really fun one, Slacks. I believe my wife heard about this one, that it was basically like rubber, but denim. And I don't mean to be like rubbing the butt part, but it's textured. The textured cover. I don't know if you can see it or not, kind of. But yeah, it's basically what it is. If you've seen Rubber, you kind of get the idea. It's about an evil pair of jeans that goes on a murder spree. This one is a lot more violent and a lot more fast-paced and funny than Rubber was. No offense to any Rubber fans out there. I like Rubber too, but I do like Slacks better. Just a lot of fun. I don't believe this one has a Blu-ray either. Up next, one of the best finds I've ever found in my life in terms of a bargain. Silence of the Lambs Criterion. I found at a pawn shop for $1. I have Silence of the Lambs already. I have it on just a regular Blu-ray. I came across the Criterion and I was like, how much are the movies? And the woman behind the counter goes, $1. I didn't find a whole lot there. But this is, finding a Criterion for $1 is probably one of the best finds I've ever had. Especially for the sense of owning it for the collection. Because I've actually thought about getting this before at the Barnes & Noble half-off sale. So very happy to have that. Up next, the last Criterion I ordered offline because I have searched for this for years and I've had no luck finding it. And that is Andrei Tarkovsky's Stalker. This is a movie that is super high on my watch list. I have not watched it yet, but I really need to. Tarkovsky is one of the best directors in terms of visuals. His cinematography is typically unlike anybody else's from what I've seen, and I've not seen much of his films, but I've seen a ton of stills. I've seen a ton of people talk. This is the booklet it comes with. I've seen a ton of people talk about his movies. And this one's always been super high on my list because there's actually a real life story about this movie. About basically, a lot of people think that the director, some of the other key players in making this movie all died because of this movie, because they filmed in very radioactive, very toxic areas to create a film that looks like a film that is never ever going to be seen again. Just creating some really bizarre and strange atmosphere, and unfortunately, from what people can tell, is it cost a lot of the crew's lives to make this. So I've always wanted to see this. It's always been very high on my watch list, so I really need to watch this at some point. Up next is a litany of Star Wars. This was the hauls for the Star Wars, that's for sure. So up first is Solo, a Star Wars story. This was part of the lot my buddy was selling. For me personally, I thought this movie was fun. I know people are pretty indifferent on it. A lot of people don't like it. I think personally it was stupid to make us a prequel story about Han Solo. Do it about somebody else. There's a million characters in Star Wars. Do it about somebody else. But I did have fun with it. I thought it was a fun little sci-fi romp on its own, but it is what it is. Up next, Rogue One. This is personally probably my favorite of the movies that Disney has put out. It'd have to be either this or I believe this is the 3-disc set. It is. So there's another disc underneath this one. I like this one, I think, better than A Force Awakens. This is directed by either Garrett or Gareth. Edwards. There's like Gareth Evans, or I get their names confused between this guy and the guy who did the Raid movies. I get them confused all the time. They have too similar of names. Knock it off. But this is the guy who did Monster and the really good 2014 Godzilla. So when I saw he was doing Star Wars, I was all about it. And then you look at that cast. Get Donnie Yen up in there. Ben Mendelsohn, or how you say his last name. Riz Ahmed. Alan Tudyk is the droid. I mean, you get Forrest Whitaker. You just get an awesome cast thrown into this movie, and I just remember this movie being awesome. I really enjoyed this movie from what I remember. So, and I loved the DLC for Battlefront when the Rogue One DLC came out. Up next, The Last Jedi. I still need The Last Skywalker, or whatever the episode 9 is. The Last Jedi, I need to try to get the sticker off of it. It was in the Barnes & Noble, I'm not Barnes & Noble, Half Price Books clearance section for a couple dollars. I've only seen this once in theaters. This is like the one that tears, in my opinion, this is the movie that made the entire sequel trilogy fall apart, because you had someone come in who was trying to do something completely different than J.J. Abrams, and then J.J. Abrams came back in and was trying to just correct this movie. If J.J. Abrams would have just come back in for 9, I'm not going to go in depth with this Star Wars rant. If he would have come back in 9 and just made a sequel to this movie, the series would have been better. But he just tried to ignore this movie and right what this movie did wrong, and he failed. I think that episode 9 is worse than this one, I think, maybe. I'm not sure. There are some moments that I do like in this movie. There are some cool epic moments, but there's also a lot I didn't like too. But I own it now. What matters. I did get the original trilogy on Blu-ray. I didn't get it on 4K because my Walmart did not have the 4Ks. They were sold out for the Black Friday price, and I got these on Black Friday for like $6.90. I can't remember, but yeah, Return of the Jedi, New Hope, Empire Strikes Back. Personally, my favorite Star Wars has always been A New Hope, but I just love this original trilogy. I only own the full screen editions. I would love to have these movies unedited, the original like raw format for these movies. I would love that. I don't think we're ever going to get it. Because of that, I just wanted to get some editions that looked nice and that weren't like half cut off. Because the copies I have are the DVD versions. They were the first versions to come out where they put Christian Haydenson at the end of episode 6 instead of the original Vader. And yeah, I just wanted some good looking versions. So speaking of old versions, I did find episode 1 and 3. It's episode 3 I got, not 2. Episode 1 and 3 on the widescreen? This one's widescreen. I don't know. Maybe. It just says every saga has a beginning at the top. But I found these at a pawn shop for $1 a piece. I didn't own these yet, so I thought I'd get them. And I'm hoping that they are the releases that has like the original puppet Yoda instead of the CG Yoda, like in episode 1, is what I'm hoping for. I'm not going to hold my breath, but I am hoping for it. It is widescreen, so this is a widescreen version. Good. But yeah, 1 and 3. I need to get 2. 2 is now one of the only Star Wars movies I don't own. And last of the Star Wars Clone Wars, the movie. I have never seen this. I've watched a lot of the Clone Wars show. I need to finish it, but I haven't finished it. Found it at Goodwill for $2. And I thought, well, I've already bought so much other Star Wars, might as well. Finally picked up Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny. Why does this not have a Blu-ray? Why does this not have a Blu-ray? I'm going to ask again. Why does this not have a Blu-ray? This has been a movie that is pretty nostalgic for me. I love this movie ever since it came out. Tenacious D is always fun. Growing up as a metalhead, I think if you're a metalhead, you just love this movie almost. It's just super fun, corny, goofy. A lot of big names are in this. Kyle Gass, Jack Black are just super fun. The music's great. Tons of deleted scenes. Quite a bit of special features and everything like that. And I never owned it, and my wife was like, we should get that. So she went out of her way to try to find it at Half Price Books, found it for a couple bucks. We did rewatch it, and this is just a fun movie. Give this a Blu-ray, please. Moving on, I picked up Thor 1 and 3. So Thor and Thor Ragnarok. I did not find Dark World. Both of these were in the clearance section at Half Price Books for a couple dollars a piece. I need to try to get the sticker off. I personally have liked the Thor movies. I like Thor 1. Thor 2 I definitely think's weak, and then Ragnarok's a lot of fun. Big fan of Taika Waititi. I'm excited for the fourth Thor, so need to grab the second one at some point. from the Criterion Cell Throwdown. This just came out around the time of the Criterion Cell. I knew nothing about it, but it looked like something that I would enjoy. Comes with this nice poster with like an essay and stuff on the back. Don't know if I'll ever hang it up. I might though. You never know. But yeah, it sounds like a cop drama neon noir kind of movie from 2004. Just need to sit down and give it a watch. I picked up at half price, or not half price, Dollar Tree for $1. Tim and Eric's $1 billion movie. It's not been opened. I know some Dollar Trees have gotten the Blu-ray. I was not lucky enough to find the Blu-ray. I did find the DVD. This to me was a fun movie back when I watched it around the year it came out. I've not seen it since, but I figured for $1 I would go ahead and grab it, and I'll maybe find the Blu-ray at some point. Another one of my more recent pickups. You gotta think this has been months. This has not been like this past month. This has been months. Like, when did I do the last update? But one of the more recent ones, Titan. This is a movie that's been on my watch list, and it is one of my top films of 2021. You will not see anything like this. This is a very crazy, original, disturbing, emotional, well shot, well performed, great effects, great makeup and costume designs, or costume, but just great makeup. Yeah, completely blown away by this movie. I believe it's the follow-up from the director of Raw. I don't know if it's a direct follow-up, but it is from the director of Raw, which I enjoyed as well. I would like to own that at some point. But this is a French film about a girl. I really want to say much about this one. I don't think I do. Just watch this. Just watch this. If you're a fan of something like someone like David Cronenberg or like body horror, check this out because it is awesome. This is super good. Just really disturbing, really emotional. It's just so many different feelings and tones wrapped up into one package, and it's done very nicely. For my buddies, that lot I bought for my buddy, another steelbook that I needed a protector for. Tora. I've never seen this. Again, it's another one of those war movies that's I just haven't seen. But now I own it. Another one from that set, I need another steelbook protector for my buddy, who I also want to thank because this wasn't originally in the lot. It was when I was going to pick up the stuff, he threw this one in with it. And that is Transformers, the movie on steelbook, the 80s animated movie. This is an 80s movie. If you could think of what would Transformers be from the 80s, picture that in your head with this artwork, and that's the movie. It is really corny, but it is a lot of fun. I had a great time with it. Another really cool find at Half Price Books, I found it brand new, was Turbo Kid. This is an out-of-print movie that is hard to come by. This was pricier. I paid $25 for it. It seems to go about that price or a little more on Amazon and stuff when I came across it, or eBay. I guess you're probably a better luck finding on eBay. I watched this film when it came out, I believe on Netflix. Don't hold me to that. Netflix or Amazon Prime, and I really enjoyed it. It's a low budget kind of grindhousey wasteland kind of movie. And I always regretted not buying the like fancy box set when it originally launched. So when I did find this brand new, I was like, you know what? I'm going to get it. Another cool buy from Half Price Books that was a little bit on the pricier side. I paid $20 for it, and that's about what it goes for. Uzumaki on DVD. I'm a huge Junji Ito fan. Uzumaki is a fantastic graphic novel. It is a great horror story. And when I came across the live action Japanese adaptation of it, honestly, I probably would have paid $30 for this. I probably wouldn't have went over 30, but yeah, it was used, but it is in great shape. and I am very excited to eventually give this one a watch. I've not watched it yet, but it's another one that is pretty high up on my list because, like I said, I am a huge Junji Ito fan. Next up, a Dollar Tree find that I'm very happy about, Vampire's Kiss. Unfortunately, it's not a Blu-ray. I'm not entirely sure this is on Blu-ray, though. With Nick Cage, this is the meme one of like, you don't say. There's a lot of meme moments in this movie, but to me, I actually really enjoyed this one. There is a lot of good, like, psychopath tones to this movie. It is a wacky and zany story. It is comical. It is also kind of disturbing and cringy. And Nick Cage is actually fantastic in this movie. And I don't think it's a bad performance or an overzealous performance. I think it fits the character perfectly, honestly. It's kind of a wacky movie because in a way it's kind of a masterpiece, but in another way it's kind of like a bad movie. I don't even know how to explain it. This is a trip of a movie. One of the new releases I got is Venom Let There Be Carnage on 4K. I'm trying to pick up more of the newer stuff on 4K. If I can. Sometimes the price difference just isn't worth it. Like Last Night in Soho. Last Night in Soho was like $22, where the 4K was $30. Venom was a little bit closer in price. Venom's 4K was $27.96 at Walmart, where the DVD was $24. So I was more apt to go for the 4K. Plus, the slip art is way cooler on the 4K. I really enjoyed the first Venom. I know I'm a little bit more on the minority of saying that. So I was really excited for the second one, and after watching the second one, I enjoyed it. I personally liked the first one better. I know I am very in the minority. I don't think I know anyone else in my friend group who liked the first one better than the second one. But I would also be like, well, if I would give the first one a 6.5 or a 7 on a good day, I would give Venom Let There Be Carnage a 6. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's very minor underneath it. I still enjoyed it. I found Violet and Daisy at Half Price Books for a couple dollars on their clearance. Danny Trejo, Cerise Ronan, James Gandolfini. Sign me up. I've seen this one before. I watched it. It's cool. It comes with this like note from the director. I've seen this one before years ago. So I would like to rewatch it because I don't really remember too much about it. So I would like to rewatch it, but so find it for a couple bucks. I'm pretty happy about it. Next up is Visionaries with Zach Galifianakis, is a DVD find. I don't know anything about it, so I'll watch it at some point. The Waterman. This was a pickup when it came out because I thought this movie looked really cool. I don't know. I'm pulling this out because if I remember right, yeah, it comes with the comic book that the main character was like writing. So this movie is about the main character's mom is sick and potentially dying. He moves to a new area where he hears the legend of the Waterman that can cure people. So him and this troubled girl kind of run away from home to find the Waterman, and it is this kind of Spielberg-esque adventure movie with kind of the strong emotional core, and I just remember enjoying it. I don't remember this like blowing me away or anything, but I remember it just being a nice, enjoyable movie. Up next in that lot of stuff from my buddy, The Wind Rises. One of the backside of the Studio Ghibli movies I don't own yet. I'm trying to collect them all. And I had never seen this one. After watching it, it was pretty good. It's basically about someone who's trying to make basically a new plane, and he's very obsessed with it. And when it comes to the Studio Ghibli movies, it's less fantasy. It's a lot more grounded, a lot more realistic, and a little long. I do remember enjoying this, but I do remember thinking that this isn't one of my like favorite Studio Ghibli movies. Next up, another clearance from Half Price Books. I did really good on clearance Half Price Books, but the Wolverine, the DVD Blu-ray combo pack. I remember this movie just being pretty good. It's definitely not as good as Logan or anything. Again, the X-Men movies are movies that I would like to try to collect all of them that I can, even Origins. But I remember this one just being a nice step up from Origins, but it still wasn't what you really wanted from a Wolverine movie. And then Logan came out and you're like, finally, but this is like the nice stepping stone in between. And it's a movie I've always wanted to grab and I've wanted to rewatch. So, up next, I'm sorry for hitting the microphone so much. Wolves, never seen it. This one's been kind of my watch list for a little while because I actually came across this when they were, I can't remember if they were kickstarting this or what. But before it came out, I followed it on Facebook for a little while, and then I just never watched it. It's got Aquaman in it. I'll watch it eventually. Found it at Dollar Tree. And the last Half Price Books clearance yesterday. This is a movie that I thought seemed interesting. It's basically about a guy who wakes up one day and the Beatles and a lot of other like really famous bands and songs never existed. It's a Mandela effect movie, and the main character is like remembers everything. He's like, you don't remember these songs? And so he takes them as for his own. And directed by Danny Boyle. And I gotta admit, I love this movie. I was completely surprised by this movie. This is one that I was like, from the premise it seems interesting, but I'm not like super sold into it. So I found it for a couple dollars. I was like, I'll get it. And we ended up watching it one night, and I was just like kind of blown away by how much I really enjoyed this movie. It's a really feel-goody movie. I just like the overall story. It was just a lot of fun. So let's grab some more. We are almost done. Very close to being done. Let's get into the last bit of other things. So I got the Godzilla Criterion box set. I actually had this last time I did a Blu-ray update, but I did forget to mention it because I have it setting by itself because it's too big to put like on my shelves and stuff. So kind of off to by itself. So when I was getting stuff to do it, I kind of missed it. Really cool. It's a really cool set. There's a different like artwork poster for every movie in the booklet. And then at the back of it is all the movies. It's I kept the back of it. It's 15 movies, I believe. This is just a cool set. My buddies went in to get this for me and my wife, and I'm just very thankful for it because this is just such a cool set. I'm very excited to own it, and I will eventually do a video on this like I did with the Solid Metal Nightmares box set. I have seen majority of these already, so but awesome to own that. I guess I'll go with the other box set I got. My wife got me this one for Christmas, and I'm very excited about starting this, and this will be a video as well. But The World of Wong Kar-wai. This is I'm not going to open it up because it's kind of a hard box set to put back together. Not in the sense, it's not really hard. It's just like the way it unfolds and stuff. To do it on video, it just eat up a lot of time. But this comes with, you know what, screw it. It's way too cool of a box set not to. So you open it up, it opens up like this, right? And then you have the box of the books. So each movie, it unfolds like this. So you got all the movies in here. And it's got quite a few movies. I can't remember exactly how many are in this, but look at this book. You could murder somebody with this book. Huge. It comes with like a lot of stills. Just a nice thick booklet. But these are films of Wong Kar-wai. As Tears Go By, Days of Being Wild, Chuck King Express, Fallen Angels, Happy Together, In the Mood for Love, 2046. feel like there's more movies than that though. But there's also like weird things, like there's like random like pictures and stuff in this book, and it's just a really cool set. This is a director that I didn't know directed some of these movies that had been on my watch list, like Chucking Express, Fallen Angels. I think it's the only two of his. They were on my watch list for a long time, and when this box set was announced, I was like, I really want this box set, and so I begged and pleaded with her to get this for me for Christmas, and she got it for me on the Criterion sale at Barnes & Noble. We found one that they did not spider wrap to oblivion, which is very nice. And I told her, I was like, if they did spider wrap it, I'm going to bug them for a discount, because there's no reason for it. But yeah, The World of Wong Kar-wai, I'm very excited to start this box set. Very excited. There will be a video on this at some point. Don't hold it to me when it's going to come out, but at some point. 2 TV shows a buddy of mine picked up for my wife for her birthday, and that is the Elton Brown show Good Eats. Just a couple episodes on these DVDs. He found them and threw them in with her birthday present. Super Sweets 3 and Say Cheese. They're both fans of Good Eats, so just kind of a nice little birthday gift. And then the last Blu-ray DVD thing was Death Note, the complete series. This is only $15 at Walmart. I've never seen the animated series. I've read the series. I have the complete manga set, and I have read it, and I've always wanted to see the anime. I've seen the English live action, which is awful. Completely awful. So when I saw the complete series for $15, I was like, hell yeah. So snagged it up. Gonna have to start watching that at some point. Very excited to check that out. I believe there's there's 37 episodes, so it's kind of a hefty series. Now, there is something that I did start collecting here recently. A buddy of mine got me into it, and I've kind of gotten into a kick of it. Let me take a sip. And that is VHS tapes. I do have a VHS player, so I have been, when I go out to these used places, thrift stores, stuff like that, I've been trying to collect some weird stuff on VHS for my own personal collection, and I've also been trying to collect, one of the things I've been really trying to collect is old cartoons from my childhood. So I have some of these already. Most of what I have I don't own yet on DVD or Blu-ray, but I do have some of these on DVD and Blu-ray, and so I have been kind of just collecting these. But let's go over them. We have Battlefield Earth, still sealed VHS. I've never seen Battlefield Earth, but I was like, if I'm ever going to watch this, I'm going to watch it sealed. I paid like $4 for this, which feels a little pricey. I might need to eBay, see how much this goes for on eBay sealed. But Battlefield Earth on VHS. I did pick up Fantasia and Fantasia 2000 at half price books for $1 a piece. These clamshells are just in immaculate condition, just incredibly well done. The tapes are in amazing condition as well. I've never seen the Fantasia movies, and I can't think of a better way to watch them than on VHS personally. So I'm gonna have to watch these at some point. Also, this black case is really cool. A buddy of mine gave me a Blockbuster Presents Halloween, John Carpenter's Halloween. So I thought that was pretty cool. This one I don't really need to keep, but I bought it. It was $1. Les Miserables, the musical. It's just a filmed live musical. I have no interest in keeping this, but that clamshell is just in such great shape that I bought it for an extra case. Honestly, I'm not going to put it back on the shelf. I have a box of VHS tapes that I've bought downstairs of movies that I don't plan on keeping, but the clamshells are in just such great shape that I bought the box, and I'm keeping them for the clamshells, and that's where that's going to go. Puff the Magic Dragon, again, really great shape. This was one I had as a kid that's just kind of wild. I need to look up, see if this is actually worth anything, because I did find a Treasure Island UAV gold that's worth a ton of money. So I need to see if Puff the Magic Dragon's actually worth anything. But this exact version of Puff the Magic Dragon I had as a kid. I remember the back of it way too vividly. So I thought that was just kind of cool for $1. A buddy of mine also gave me Scooby-Doo, classic Scooby-Doo tape. So that's kind of cool. Has a bonus episode of Dexter's Laboratory on it. Huh. Also a very, very clean copy of Toy Story I found for $1. VHS tapes you can just find for dirt cheap for the most part. I don't own Toy Story yet, so that was kind of cool. I found a really nice copy of Land Before Time. The clamshell is a little beat up in the top corner, so I could replace this one. But as for the rest of it, it is in good shape. So I grabbed this. I had Land Before Time and VHS as a kid, so I don't own it on Blu-ray or anything yet. I do want to get a nice copy of Land Before Time, but I thought that would be cool to have. I found this one actually over the weekend for 50 cents at a vintage flea market thing, but fun and fancy free. I've never heard of this. 50th anniversary of it. Yeah, like I said, I've never heard of this. And it's the tape's in great shape. The case is in pretty good shape. So I was like, all right. Some of these weird Disney things, it's like never really gotten a release otherwise. This might, I don't know, but I also grabbed a copy of Lilo and Stitch. Some of these like of like me and my wife's like favorite Disney movies, I kind of want to grab on VHS too, just to have them. I think it's just kind of cool. This one is not in very good shape, but it was 50 cents. It's not in horrible shape, but it's definitely in the more middle tier shape. Another one from my childhood, also in pretty good shape. I may have just cracked the case. A little brittle. I can always replace the case, but Rudolph the movie. This was one I had as a kid that I would like to venture back in. I do have a way to transfer VHS tape to digital, so I might do that with some of these just to have VHS rips because I think that's kind of cool. But yeah, this is one of them that I had as a kid that I remember watching like every Christmas year. So that was just a cool one. Along with an incredibly clean copy of A Christmas Story. Now, you want to talk about a movie I've seen 20 plus times because me and my mom have watched this every year before Christmas. This has been our Christmas Eve tradition for years, basically until I moved out. And to me, this is the ultimate Christmas movie. I don't think there will ever be a Christmas movie, in my personal opinion, that will top A Christmas Story. I know some people don't like this. Some people are just sick of it, but for me, it's just one of those classic Christmas movies. And to see a VHS tape of it in such great shape, I do own this on Blu-ray. I was just like, come on, man, for $1, under $1 actually. Up next, a really clean copy of The Black Cauldron. This insert is just beautiful, super reflective. Like I said, really clean copy. I've never seen The Black Cauldron. And if I remember right, I think this one is a Disney Club only on Blu-ray. So I would just like to watch the movie at some point. It looks cool. Another one, like I said, if I come across some of these and they're clean and they're really cheap, I'm just going to grab them. And one of those was Dinosaur. I've not seen Dinosaur in quite a while. I do not own this one on Blu-ray yet, although it is on my wish list, I guess you could say, to pick up on Blu-ray. But I did grab Dinosaur and VHS. So I do own a copy of it. Another interesting one that kind of lumps in with fun and fancy free, but Buzz Lightyear of Star Command. It's in pretty good shape. I wouldn't say it's in amazing shape, but it's in good shape. Never heard of this. The DVD goes for like a ton of money. It's only on DVD and VHS. The DVD is clearly hard to come by. So happy to have that. There might be a video on these guys. There might be a video in the future, but I found 2 Beast War movies, Beastie's Escape and a feature-length Beastie's Adventure. Look at that face. Yeah, these look terrible. If you want to say something looks aged from what I remember as a kid, oof. Very excited to watch these. Very excited. Might be a video on those. Up next, Batman Mask of the Phantasm. I found this. It's in really good shape. It was only $1, and I've never seen this Batman movie. And I thought, you know what? I feel like Batman animations would actually probably hold up really nicely on VHS. There is a Blu-ray of this, and it is on my wish list. So eventually I will be upgrading this because I am trying to collect all the DC animated stuff, especially the Batman stuff. So eventually, but for now, pretty cool. Finally, the last things I have picked up on VHS. Almost done. The Fox and the Hound Gold Collection. This is my Fox and the Hound copy that's in really good shape. Very happy to own this. Fox and the Hound is my favorite Disney animated movie. I do want to make a video on it, but it's going to be a very hard and personal video to make. And if I do make the video, you'll understand why. But I've kind of gotten this weird kick of just buying Fox and the Hound anytime I come across it on VHS for under $1. I don't know why, but I have just started buying them anytime I see them for under $1. I have passed a couple. So this was the first one I got, and I got it for $1. And I came home and was upset because the tape looks really good, but the insert was water damaged. So I wasn't able to replace the case. What is this? So I was never able to replace the case, which I came across this one. However, this one is a different release than this one. Then I found these two at a thrift store for 49 cents, 50 cents a piece. So I grabbed both of them. Again, both of these are in pretty good shape. This one's kind of weird because it's in a different case, I think. So it's like the insert's a little too small. But so I've done this weird like Fox and the Hound collection thing. So I'm just like collecting Fox and the Hound movies for whatever reason. I'm hoping I can find a couple more of these gold collectors one. But yeah, so for some reason I just started collecting Fox and the Hound. Don't ask me why. But that is the incomplete movie update. Now, I don't know when, maybe tomorrow night, but I want to go through and downsize the movie collection to pull out some titles that are, let's be honest, less than, and get some more shelf space set up. So that has been the Blu-ray update as of now. Moving forward, these Blu-ray updates, like I said, I'm just going to do them live. It's just easier for me. And that has been that. So thank you. Thank you again for all the support on the other videos I've made, like Threads, the Shinya Tsukamoto video. Those videos take so much work to make. And I'm very happy to see that it seems like most people like them. So that's really cool. And I will see you all later. Maybe in a couple months for another update. I don't know. We'll see. Peace.